Oh, wait a minute.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yes.
Please don't embarrass us. Please try to act normal in front of Mr. McCain. Please.
The singer and songwriter.
Thank you. I tried.
Okay, I'll make it. The distinguished.
There's my effort.
Singer and songwriter, Edwin McCain, Edmund.
Well, so much for that.
Edwin McCain. It's a hard name to say. Change it. Edwin McCain.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Woo!
Doesn't he sound like a sheriff in the Old West, though?
Lucas McCain.
Yeah.
The rifle. That was my nickname.
Nice.
The Rifleman. Well, really, if I'm telling the truth, so I went to this basketball camp. It was Dick and Dave DeVinzio's basketball camp.
Oh, Dick and Dave, sure.
I don't know if you remember Dave DeVinzio or Dick DeVinzio, who's a big D2 college star and had a basketball camp. And I was a chucker. Passed me the ball, I was going to shoot.
That's right.
I was 12 years old. When I was 12 years old, my confidence far exceeded my ability, and I was going to shoot. So I got the nickname the Rifleman. So,
nice.
There it is. Yeah, it's funny when this song, the record company president called me and was like, "Listen, I just came from a meeting. They're talking about dropping you. So whatever you do next needs to be really good." I got this one song. I feel like it's pretty good. So thank God for this song because it ended up being kind of like a half-court hook shot at the buzzer. The strands in your eyes, the color that wonderful stab me, steal my breath. And emeralds from mountains thrust towards the sky, never revealing their depth. And tell me that we belong together. Dress it up with the trappings of love. I'll be captivated. I'll hang from your lips, stay out on the gallows of heartache that hang from above. And I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be love's suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your life. And rain falls angry on the tin roof as we lie awake in my bed. You're my survival. You're my living proof. My love is alive, not dead. And tell me that we belong together. Dress it up with the trappings of love. I'll be captivated. Hang from your lips, stay out on the gallows of heartache that hang from above. And I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be love's suicide. And I'll be better when I'm old. I'll be the greatest fan of your life. And I dropped out, burned up, found my way back from the dead. Tuned in, turned on, remember the thing that you said. And I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be love's suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your life.
Edwin McCain. And then the guy from the record company said, well, we'll give it a shot.
What else you got?
Well, Edwin McCain is our guest. He's a very fine singer and songwriter. And you're on tour with Darius Rucker. And you've known him since before he was famous, right?
We knew each other. We all knew each other as freshmen at the University of South Carolina. And my friendship with them was brief because my college career was a scant one semester.
They've been there.
Yeah,
it's okay.
it only took a semester for me and the university to discover that we had nothing to offer each other. Which is ironic because they've twice now offered me an adjunct professor job in the last couple of years, and I keep reminding them, I'm like, you guys kicked me out. But yeah, Darius and I knew each other. We used to all go to this place called Muldoon's. They had open mic nights, and Darius and Mark used to sort of host this open mic night, and I used to bug them to death and get up and play. And then when I moved down to Hilton Head and started playing shows, and they started their band, and when they would come through Hilton Head, they would come out and hang out with me at my gig at the Tiki Hut behind the Holiday Inn.
Nice.
On the beach, and our we were all friends, and when they started kind of taking off, I put a band together and was opening for them, and it was just one of those perfect timing things. We were all in the right place.
Were they Hootie and the Blowfish right from the beginning?
And they did the thing. They sold like 10,000 independent albums, and that was like the magic number. If you were an indie band and you sold 10,000 CDs out of your van, you'd get a record deal. And that was Dave Matthews got signed and Hootie got signed, and we were opening for Hootie and Darius, the A&R guy from Atlantic. Darius told the guy, he goes, look, we'll sign with you, but you need to bring our friend with us. Like that. Can you imagine?
Oh, that's
can you
great.
imagine how
so
cool?
nice.
Yeah, we'll sign with you guys, but you got to bring our big-headed friend. And he's terrible on the basketball court, but trust us, And so, and Darius sang on the first single with me and did the whole deal with me. Honestly, I spent my whole life trying to repay them for what they did for me early in my career. But you guys were the ones that broke Solitude.
Yeah, I remember
They were
that's
the
great.
ones that started playing it
I love
and went
that song.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were here when you were just a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edwin McCain,
Baby.
did you start playing originals, or were you doing covers when you first started going to
what
those
kind of
open
stuff were you
mics?
doing?
Half and half. So, and that was a function of I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough a guitar player to learn how to play the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. There's way too many chords. So I could play. Some covers. Like I played some Seal, some Jimi Hendrix, and like Jane's Addiction and Blues Traveler, and then I was playing all the rest of it was my stuff. And that was only just because my stuff had less chords.
Gotcha.
Do you ever play covers now?
I still play. We have some. I play Earth, Wind, and Fire cover, and we have like random covers. God, I'm trying to think. Well, I played a Gap Band cover.
Oh.
We played AC/DC the other night at the concert with Collective Soul. That was pretty fun.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And everybody's like, what's he doing singing Bon Scott? Don't worry about it.
Mind your own business.
Enjoy the show.
We're speaking with Edwin McCain. You mentioned the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Pat, could we at some point in today's show?
No.
I think it's. I think
do
it's
that in
nice.
front of the great Edwin McCain.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to.
Talk about embarrassing.
No, we're trying to let Edwin get his. He asked me, please don't make me sing. He wants to get his. He wants to get his voice warmed up. And Pat, you have a little tribute. Have you met Pat Godwin?
Yes.
Fine guitar player.
If anything deserves context, it's this.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, Edwin, this is out of left field. I don't know. This is the first draft of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. It was about a certain jazz singer. It goes something like this. Oh, God help me. It sits down below like the ship we all know, the rectum of Ella Fitzgerald. Sorry. She'd scat when she sang and her bottom would bang. A disaster when the winds would come early.
Edwin, where are you going?
Let's do an edit here. A doctor, it said, would always turn his head when performing her colon procedure. We're almost done, Edwin. There's polyps and corn and Louis Armstrong's horn. The rectum of Ella Fitzgerald.
Did you pick up on those chords?
That was beautiful.
There you go.
Isn't that touching?
Isn't that beautiful?
See, that's the thing, though. Everybody doesn't realize that all these songs have it's always the
opening.
rewrite.
Yeah.
My song "I'll Be" was like the original was Aunt B's got a fake shoulder. Aunt B makes bitchin' pie. And Aunt B's fussing at Gomer. Aunt B's got really flabby thighs. You know, you start
Bravo.
Yes,
Start
yeah.
there, and then you go.
Very good.
Very good.
Paul McCartney did Scrambled Eggs. Edwin McCain, a tribute
man.
to Aunt B. And she's kind of from where you're from.
That's right. That's right. Mount Airy. I had a bus driver from Mount Airy that I loved, and it's the reason why I don't have a bus driver now. I just knew I could never replace this guy. Wrong Way Dave. Specializing in U-turns. And I swear to God, I go, so Dave, he was the greatest driver ever, but that's all he was going to do. Hey, Dave. Yeah, turd. He called me turd. Hey, the trash can's full. Do you mind dumping it while we're on stage tonight? I'd rather quit.
I love guys like that. No, the last time you were here, and I've got a letter proving this, you mentioned you had a lot of really good stories about Greg Allman, but you couldn't tell most of them. Do you have any you can tell?
Yeah, I can tell stories now. I was on tour with them for 2 summers. It was the summer of '96 and then the summer of '97. And I was told that I had a very good time on both of those tours.
You were told.
Yeah, it was amazing. That's what I heard.
Wow.
No, but I rode with them. I rode with them from Pittsburgh to D.C. My sister lived in D.C. And Alan Woody kept. I said, look, I want to ride in the bus. I'll make myself. You won't even notice I'm there. I'm just going to catch a ride. And Warren was cool with it, and Greg was cool with it. And I didn't know Alan Woody, but Alan looked like a terrifying biker, and I was scared to death of him. And I was just like staying out of the way. But Alan kept coming over and handing me. Let me figure out how I can safely say this. Psilocybin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fungus. And just here, eat this. And I was like, yes, sir. And turns out that wasn't really the best idea because when I got to D.C., they had somebody to check them in the hotel, and I had to go check myself in the hotel. Oh. And I opened up the front door of the hotel, and there was just paisley carpet from the door to the front desk. And it took me like 30 minutes to tiptoe my way through this lobby.
It is Hunter Thompson in your way.
Oh, my God. Just like I looked like Spider-Man trying to get across this carpet. And I finally got to the front desk like... And the guy was like, are you okay? And I was like, do you have Cartoon Network? And he was like, yeah, we do. And I was like, thank you. Check me in, please. Yeah, so it was that. It was amazing. It was just one of those things where I got to be part of like the big time music business. You know, I was on tour with Bob Weir, and you know, God, it was. I got to ride around with the old school record guys, the radio promo guys like Michael Stevens and all these old school guys that they had driven Zeppelin around. Like the guy in Nashville, Eric, I'd say, Eric, man, tell me some stories. And he'd go, I got one for you. He goes, man, I had Zeppelin one time, and they had this tour manager, Peter Green, and everybody scared of him. And so Peter called me one morning and said, Eric, Robert and Jimmy would like to go to the crossroads. Well, I didn't know where no goddamn crossroads was. I wasn't about to tell him that, so I threw Robert Plant, Jimmy Page in the back of my car, and I drove way out in the middle of nowhere, and I found these two roads that came together. I said, there it is. And Robert Plant, Jimmy Page are out there wandering around in the cow field, going, ooh, you can feel it. And the thing is, he did that, right? Yeah. Like he wasn't making this up. Like these are the guys, man. These are the guys in the 70s that did all the stuff, and I got to be with them 5 minutes before they retired, and they would tell me all the stories, and you go, oh my God, this is the greatest business we could ever be in. Like I'm ruined. Like I could never have a real job now. Are you kidding me? Like I see like videos of people talking about like their experiences with HR, and I'm like, what? Huh? I had an interesting moment. We used to keep the bus in a big shared space warehouse. And so the guy that owned the place used to let the sheriff's department train the dogs. And I came to get something out of the bus. And there was like 15 sheriff's department guys and like 10 dogs. And they were all around my bus.
Oh, boy.
And I came walking up and they were like, this your bus? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, our dogs have alerted on your bus. And I said, well, they'd be pretty crappy dogs if they didn't. You probably want to think about getting new dogs if those dogs didn't alert on that bus. And now nobody knew what to do, right? Like everybody's sort of looking at each other, and one of the younger cops, like down on the end, just busted out laughing. He couldn't help. I said, guys, let me show you the log. So I bought this bus from a rental fleet. A guy, and he kept meticulous records. So I can show you everybody that's been on this bus for the last 10 years. And so the first 2 tours that bus went on was Snoop Dogg. Oh, wow. And then the following tour was Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead. Sure. And I told the guy, I was like, listen, so if your dogs didn't alert on this bus, then go ahead and get some new dogs. And then they accepted that answer and they wandered off. And then I went inside the bus and went,
yeah. And you grabbed the pot that you came for and left.
We did it, fellas.
I called my sound guy. I was like, get your briefcase out of here, man.
If this world should break you, I'll pick your pieces up. Wherever the road takes you, I'll be there in the dust. The stars fade to nothing, dreams start to rust. Girl, I pray it doesn't. I pray it doesn't. But when it does, and you feel like heaven's falling, and when it does, you don't know who to trust. I can't stop your river rising, but promise you the water won't get rough. But I'll be right here beside you when it does. Know what it's like to cry out when all you got is prayer, and all you hear is silence. Makes you wonder if God was ever there. And I can feel your faith disappear into the air. Girl, I hope it doesn't. Girl, I pray it doesn't. But when it does, and you feel like heaven's falling, when it does, you don't know who to trust. I can't stop your river rising, but promise you the water won't get rough. And I'll be right here beside you when it does. Ain't no wrong we can't right, no fight we can't fight. The truth is, child, trouble's gonna come. But when it does, you feel like heaven's falling. And when it does, you don't know who to trust. promise you the water won't get rough. I wish I could stop the world from beating you up, but I'll be right here beside you when it does.
Edwin McCain, live in our studio.